So Ash, we have got to your point of telling us who you are and what you do a bit to start with, and then your presentation, please.
Super. Well, I've blended that into the presentation, if that's okay. So I'll just crack on if everybody's happy with that. So let me, hopefully this will work, because you know what Zoom can be like. Yay! And I've still got you guys as well, so I can see you. So everybody see that all right? What we're talking about today is the single most important thing you can do to improve sales, okay? So I will come on to that in a second. So just a tiny bit about me, for those of you who don't know me. I'll fly through this because most of you know me quite well. Karen, just you can laugh at my weak jokes just anyway, even though you've heard them before. So founder of the Business Clubhouse, also the lead coach. What does the Business Clubhouse do? We provide coaching, mentoring services for business leaders across the range of business sizes, and help people be the best version of themselves, I guess. I'm an ex-tennis coach. I had some multiple sports businesses, and in all that time I never coached a racket or a ball. I always coached the player, and I believe that business is a game, and my job is to help the player of that game win fundamentally. I'm also co-owner of Shaded Cube, which is a shaded products company. So we provide things like carports and shutters, but they're all solar paneled, so you can basically save energy, save the planet, and make your house look really nice. I'm a Help to Grow mentor for the government's Help to Grow program through Kingston University, best-selling author, and an award-winning coach, international speaker and trainer, but not on Zoom, usually on stages, so I'm much more comfortable. But who am I really? Because that's all the businessy stuff, and that's all fine. But I think it's really important in business that we get to know people. So here's a little bit of me exposing myself. There's my little man and best friend, Rodney, who's currently 16, and ill. He's hanging on at the moment, but he's doing pretty well. So I have a daughter, Jace, and also dad to Rodney. Don't ask how that happened. Immaculate conception and all that. Husband to Kay. I'm a big QPR fan, as you can see from the sign on my office. Those of you who are aware of those sorts of things. I am a golf nut. Wannabe chef, love cooking, an avid reader. I read all the time. In fact, I was just updating my reading list before this. And a few things you may not know, but Karen does. I have 3 tattoos. They're all quite small, but they're very personal. I love good coffee. I'm not a fan of Nescafe out of the packet. I hate tea. Somebody once sent me tea in the post. I'm not doing business with them. We will talk about that. My golf handicap is 17.4 currently. I went up on the weekend. I can't swim or sing or dance, as Karen knows very well. Karen tried to teach me dance for my wedding, for our first dance at our wedding. We did all right. I only stepped on Kay's toes twice. I think I might be addicted to splitting wood because I have 3 axes, 2 chainsaws, and I once slept in my car, but that's a story for another day. So what is it? The single most important thing to improve sales? And it's a bit of a captain obvious one. And Gary Brown is going to take his hand and throw it onto his forehead and then fall off his chair in exasperation because it is so obvious. And he probably spends a lot of time annoying people about why they should do more of this. And it is follow up. Okay? Following up. It's as simple as that. But there's more to it. And following up can be done in a number of ways. And I'm going to take you through some things that I've discovered in my journey and other people's journeys that make following up more effective. But first of all, why? Why should we follow up? What's the reason behind it? It's all very well, Gary, isn't it, to say you've got to follow up more, but why? Let's have some context. Izzy, I know you and I have spoken about this. And here's the thing. It takes an average of 8 touches, be careful where you touch people, to get a sale from a lead. 8. However, 80% of business owners give up after 4 touches. And I've deliberately used business owners as opposed to business development managers or salespeople, because salespeople get paid on commission. They tend to be a little bit more aggressive. But 80% of business owners give up after 4 touches. So you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Leaving a lot of money on the table. So we're going to go through 7 steps to following up properly. I should probably write effectively rather than properly. Okay. And these are the why have I got 7 and then written 6? I think it's probably 6 steps, but I'll throw an extra one in as a bonus for you at the end. I told you it wasn't days, it was 90 minutes. So we're going to talk about being organized, do what you said you'd do, the golden window, Philippa, consciousness, and persistence. All right, so they're the 6 things that we're going to cover. It might turn out to be 7 because I didn't count them, but we'll see. If that sneaks in there, that's a bonus. So the first thing is get organized. And I think it's just really, really important to make time every day to follow up. A very wise person once said to me, and it wasn't Yoda for once, what is the most important activity in my business? What is the most important thing in my business? And I went, oh, I don't know, selling, and I went through all sorts of stuff, doing my numbers, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, what can your business not do without? And I said, well, customers. And he said, okay, great. How much time are you spending every day getting customers or looking after the ones that you've got? If that is the most important thing in your business, because for all of us, if we don't have customers, we don't have a business. Now, you could argue if we don't have profit or cash, we don't have a business, but where does that come from? Our customers. Okay, so be organized. Every day you should be doing something to follow up, to stay in touch, to communicate with your customers or prospects or leads or existing customers. Schedule it. Put it in your diary if it's important. I hear this all the time. You know, have you chased that person? Have you sent out this week's email? No, I haven't got time. I haven't got time. Schedule it. And if not you, who, Philippa? Okay, because a lot of the tasks involved in following up are not, and I'd say this with respect, Philippa, they're not complex. They just need doing. Okay, they don't need you to do it. And a lot of people believe that it has to be the business owner. Okay, so use somebody else. Use somebody else. And have a repeatable system. And again, that's something that Philippa can help you with, for example, is put a system in place so that it works when you're on holiday. I went away ended up being about 3 weeks, and my email went out every Friday. And I even wrote one of them, I think, but it went out. And that's the point, because I have a system. So the second one is do what you'd say you would do. I'm sitting in this office. Karen noticed that I've flipped around. I'm on a slightly different place. This office has been up 5 years, and I remember going on the interweb and searching garden offices. And I put in 4, maybe 5 online inquiry forms. And 2 of them I'm still waiting to hear from. Okay, and all these forms said, fill out our form and we'll give you a call back. They didn't say what they were going to do. I went with the firm that said, we'll call you back, who called me back, because that's easy. We've got a leak. 3 plumbers called 3 of them. 2 of them said, yeah, I can get here tomorrow. Third one said, get here tomorrow. The third one turned up. Who do we use? Not difficult, okay? Do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to ring somebody, ring somebody. Really, really simple. But with following up, if you can at the pre-sale stage be reliable, be consistent, people get a taste of what it's going to be like when they actually do business with you. I think that's really, really important. The golden window. So there's a lot of science and data and research around it. Mine is quite anecdotal as well as the data. But you are 7 times more likely to make a sale if you call within an hour of an inquiry. Okay, so Liz, if somebody pings you an email to say, be interested to work with you as an accountant, and you get back to them within an hour, you are 7 times more likely, because you are reinforcing the fact that you have a process and you're efficient and you're reliable and you're going to say what you're going to do. You're going to do what you say you were going to do. Okay. Problem is only 7% of companies respond within 5 minutes of a form submission. So who has a form on their website that people can fill out? Brilliant. Excellent. And do you go and look for that form, or is it automated that you deliver a reply straight away? So who has one that's automated? If we're not being brave. And that's exactly what you want. It doesn't have to give all the answers. But if you've got a form on your website, have an instant reply, because that puts you in the 7% straight away. And it sounds really obvious, but most people don't do it. And you can go to town on it, and you could do a little video reply if you wanted to. Hey, thanks for your message. Really appreciate you. I mean, I'm sure Karen has one of those already, but really, really appreciate you getting in touch. You know, we're busy like you're busy. Thanks very much. We'll be in touch in the next 24 hours, and then do what you say you're going to do. And the advantage of doing it by video is that they know who you are and they get a feel for you. And 10 minutes is the golden window. So within that hour, if you can get inside 10 minutes. So there's a company I work with called the Scottish Shutter Company. And we realized quite quickly, David realized quite quickly, that they were getting a lot of people filling out forms to request a brochure late at night, sort of 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, quite often sort of between 10 and 11. So what they started doing was having the phone direct from the office to the mobile. And when people filled out this form, one of the things that they got was the phone number. And they'd ring them up with the pretense of, oh, thanks very much for your inquiry for your the catalogue, you know, the brochure. Our system's just messed up and it's corrupted a little bit of your address. Can I just double check your postcode, please? And they'd get into a conversation and they would make sales there and then. Because people had the budget, they knew and wanted to do it. And it was just a question of trying to get in touch with somebody who might come back to them and do the job. So if you're the first there and you're engaging and you're talking to them, you're in, okay? And they've made 25% of the times they'd make sales. It's a huge number, massive uplift. And there's anything, the average job value was £17,500, I believe, 17.4. It was a few years ago, all right? So talk to people early. Systemize, okay? A bit more work for Philippa, you're gonna be inundated. So if you can't do it, who or what can? Have systems, have automated emails to reply things. Don't just do work, don't just generate leads, and not have a system to follow up with. I think that's clean. So there's couple of really brief examples. One is I did an exhibition about 9 years ago to sell a license, a franchise basically. And the detail doesn't matter, it was at Olympia and all the rest of it. We were there for 2 days on the weekend. We saw, it was about 15,500 footfall, and it was teachers. And what we did is we had an email preset ready to go so that when people filled out a form, we could put them into our database and they got an immediate email saying, hey, thanks so much for coming to visit our stand. If you were to register interest with us today and put down a deposit, then we can do this offer for you. And people would come back to the stand to make that decision because we already had our follow-up in place. I did £37,500 worth of business in that one weekend, selling a £300 product. Okay, because we followed up immediately because we had a system. So many people do exhibitions, collect lots of leads and then go, now what? Get that bit in place first. Get what happens afterwards in place first. The other example is in my old tennis business, we used to have, I'll do this really quickly, I'm aware of time, 5 minutes left, but we had, so every sort of late February, we would do loads of taster sessions in schools, and we probably see anything between 3,500 and 4,000 kids across all our the primary schools that we were in. So the phone would ring. The problem is that we worked out that the phone would always ring between about 4:30 and 6 o'clock. Kids would get home from school, mum would take the half-eaten jam sandwich and the banana skin out of the bag, and attached to it would be this piece of paper or a flyer that the coach had given them. What's this? Oh, we had this mad tennis coach come in today. Oh, brilliant. And they pick up the phone while the kid was eating and ring us. We weren't in. So we realized we had to be in later on in the evenings. And we put a system in place so that the week of those taste sessions, we would shift everybody's hours so we could man the phones and therefore make sales. We had a system. Okay, create a process, have a system. Consciousness. I think this is number 5. So what do I mean by consciousness? I mean, be thoughtful with what you do when you follow up. Make sure that what you send to people is relevant and it's useful and it's interesting. There's no point sending information to somebody about your services when they've already bought your services. Send them information about the services they haven't bought from you. Okay, because they already know, because they're already engaged. Does that make sense? And because one of the pushbacks I'll get on this all the time is that, you know, we probably send upwards of I would say 25 to 30,000 emails a month with a list of 4,000, but we're not sending the same email to everybody. You know, because within that 4,000, we've got smaller business owners, larger business owners, existing clients, clients who are prospects, clients who are leads, clients that have just come across us, clients who have downloaded certain bits of lead bait. So everything we do is segmented. So we're sending stuff that's relevant and useful and interesting to the different people on our list. We're not just sending the same message out to everybody. Okay, so if you're selling ladies' shoes, don't send it to me. If you're selling tea bags, don't send it to me. Send me the ones about the coffee. And how to be conscious, how to be thoughtful. 6 ways. Use video. Okay. Use letters. Use email. Email is not dead. Ignore what anybody else tells you. Email is not dead. We are getting consistent open rates of 21%. That's average over the last 3 months, and our list is growing dramatically. We've added a 0 to it in the last 3 months, and people are picking up the phone. People are picking up the phone and they're booking calls with us because we're being consistent. Email works. Okay. Video is king. We know this. The more video you can use, and we're way behind on the content of video that we're delivering at the moment. It can be a selfie video, or it can be in the studio with Karen, or Karen coming to your place and doing this is how we work, testimonial videos, little, chat stuff, product items. I mean, speak to Karen about that. She's got thousands of ideas, but video works irrespective of what your business is. And in fact, the more unlikely your business is seemingly aligned to video, sorry, Liz, say accountancy, not everybody would align those two, the more powerful it is because you'll stand out. It's easier to stand out in a sea of sameness if you do something different. Okay, I think it's really powerful. 70% of purchasers, that number's probably gone up. Okay, watch video before buying. Okay, it is the mostly consumed type of content out there. Fact. People watch more video than they read books, listen to stuff. They watch videos. Make your videos personal. Don't be corporate. Don't talk about your accountancy business. Talk about you and how you help people. Nobody wants an accountant. They want someone to help them solve their problems for them that they like. So be likable. Use letters. Who sends post? Okay. Send letters in the post. It's expensive. And that's the reason to do it. Because most people go, oh, it's expensive. So they don't do it, which means you're not having to compete with so much on the letterbox. Use colored envelopes, stand out. Yes, it's more expensive. Okay. Handwrite the envelope. Yes, it takes time, but you'll stand out. Sprinkle your letters with personalization. Talk to people, mention their business in it. Mail merge works. It's really good. It's really easy. And Royal Mail postage is at an all-time low. The number of letters going through the people's letterboxes is dropping every day. So you've got less competition on the doorstep compared to the competition that you've got via email or social media. Okay, make it lumpy. I think most of you know this story. The 30-second version is I went to Dixon's, as it was, bought 5 DVD players, got a video production company to create me a video with testimonials talking about what we did, and I posted the video to the chairman of tennis clubs with a post-it note on it saying press play, a letter wrapped around it, and I got my, at the time, 8-year-old daughter to write on the bottom of the letter, when you finish with my DVD player, please can you send it back? Everyone called me. We're not interested in what you're doing, but where do we send the DVD player back to so your daughter can have it? I'm in a conversation, and then we communicated with them and followed up. All 5 of them became clients. Not all of them straight away, but all of them became clients. Think outside the box, make it lumpy. Send Kit Kats and tea bags. Okay, that works with a letter. Number 4, this one within this, pick up the phone. Pick up. Who's going to make a phone call today to a prospect or a lead? Leave your hands up. Not to your mum.
On behalf of a client, though.
Okay, but if it's as part of this, then that's great, isn't it? Because they're passing that on to you because they're not going to do it, so they're asking you to do it. That's great. Pick up the phone. It works. In this era of Zoom now, actually phone calls are working even better because people are loving having a conversation without this bit because they can do it in their pants and it works. And finally, don't stop. Don't stop. I've got a client that's currently working with me. She's been working with me coming up to 2nd year now. Physio based out in Kent. She's absolutely brilliant. She first came onto my list, do the maths, in 2014. It took me sending her an email a week for 5 years before she bought from me. But because the system is this, I was able to see that she was opening my emails every week and reading them and looking at them. And when people are ready, they'll buy. So don't discount people just because they've been on your list forever. As long as they're opening it and they're not unsubscribing and they're not complaining, keep them on there. Because you never know. They may just, and interestingly, the thing that tipped her over the edge was me pinging her a personal video saying, shall I use a name? Yeah, it's fine. Hey, Carol, I know that you've been on my list for a while. You've been joining stuff. We're doing some cleaning up. Just wanted to know whether you wanted me to unsubscribe you or not, or would you like to keep getting the emails that we send? She booked a call with me. Boom, in. Okay, be persistent. Because it takes an average of 8 touches to get a sale from a lead. And 80% of business owners give up after 4 touches. It's actually getting higher. I'd say it's probably more like 11 now. But it doesn't have to be 11 emails. That could be 4 emails, a video, a piece of social media, a letter in the post, a postcard, a phone call. Turn up. You know, if there's a business physically somewhere near you, Izzy, you're working with a lot of local businesses nearby. Karen, you are as well. Just go knock on the door. Hey, I was passing. How are you? I've got my camera. Should we shoot something now? You could try that. And this kind of sums up this quote. I don't know who Patricia Fripp is, but I've heard the quote. I Googled it and realised it's from her. I probably should find out who she is. But it's not your customer's job to remember you. It is your obligation to your business and your responsibility to your business to make sure they don't forget you. That's what following up is all about.